Hello students, I am here with another video from the 8th chapter of class 7th from Science NCERT book, that is Wind, Storms and Cyclones. Before starting today's video, I would like to tell you all that what all topics we discussed yesterday. So we discussed about how the wind is produced. We have discussed about the properties of wind and air exerts pressure and how is this pressure difference causing the wind to blow. Next, we have discussed about how the wind patterns are present, how many types of wind patterns are present in the world, and how many and what is the main reason behind the wind to blow. That is uneven heating of the surface, as well as there is the uneven heating between equators as equator and the poles. So today we are going to discuss about the high speed winds, which also is accompanied by reduced air pressure. Means we are going to study about the connection between the relation between the wind and air pressure. Okay, so how is this air pressure is always related with the wind speed. So we go on to the first topic, that is fast moving air. It creates a region of low pressure. Now how is this getting, how we are going to describe this and how we will understand this? Let's read further. Since moving air is called wind, therefore we can also say that fast moving wind creates a region of low pressure. Now if the wind is moving fast, means if wind is there, it means it is fast moving. Okay, if we say that it is fast moving, it means if air is fast moving, it means it is wind. Now if it is moving, it creates low pressure. Fine. Now fast moving means high speed winds, and they have low pressure means the reduced air pressure. So yet another way of saying that high speed winds is always accompanied by reduced air pressure. We are going to describe about the activities which will show the same fact. Okay, so the fact is that whenever high speed is coming in the winds, it is because it always creates a low pressure. As we have seen that it was the low pressure, how it was created when uneven surface heating was taking place. Then what happens if land gets warmer and if land gets warmer and sea water is there, then sea water is present this side. So what was the reason that from the land the air was moving up, and then the space was created, and from the sea the fast moving air was coming and it was occupying the space which was present above in the land. So this is because how is the speed being generated? This speed is being generated because of the rate of evaporation. More the evaporation, more low pressure will be developed, because there will be no air molecules, because pressure is always active when molecules are present in any object. So if molecules of air is not present, it means it has low pressure. Then fast moving air will be blowing, because it has to equalize the pressure which is being generated on the earth's on the land surface. So because of which the speed of the air increases, and it occupies the complete surface which is created by the complete space which is being created by the low pressure area. So this will be described by the small activities. The first one is that you have to take two balloons of equal size. You have to fill water in both the balloons, a little water in both the balloons, okay, to make it slightly heavier. Now inflate both of them, put some water inside this, and then make it heavier. How you are going to make it heavier? Still some water is present, and you are blowing air into it. Now we are going to blow air, and equal amount of air will be blown, and then what will happen if it becomes equal in size? Then we will tie their mouth properly. After that, we are going to tie these balloons in the 10 centimeter apart, and then we will in the stick. Okay, we will tie these two balloons in a stick, which is in which the space between these two balloons must be 10 centimeters apart. Okay, so this is how we will tie, and then what will happen, and now what we are going to do in the next step. Once we tie them off, so they look like this. Fine. Now what you have to do, you have to blow. If you blow air in the space between them. Now what you have to do, the second thing is that you have to blow air in the space which is present in between these two balloons. So what you will see that what is being shown here in the next diagram, it has been shown that as soon as you blow air in between these two balloons, these balloons are coming closer. Instead of moving far apart, they are coming closer. Now why this is happening? This is because this is being explained as follows. When the wind blows, when we blow air or wind between the balloons, then fast moving air, or that is known as wind, creates a region of low pressure in the space between the balloons. Why? As soon as we are blowing air in between these two balloons, most of the air will come out, and it is going to decrease the air pressure. Air molecules which is present in between them, you are moving with the if you are blowing air, it means the air which was present already here, it will move and come out, and which decreases the low pressure, which decreases the pressure in these two places. Okay, in these places, in between the balloon places. So next thing what you will do, that is why if pressure is being decreased here, then the pressure which is present on the sides of the balloon is going to increase, and you know that air which is present at the high pressure, it is going to come and occupy the region in between the low pressure. So what instead of moving, the balloons are going to move in the outer direction, it is going to move inside direction, because both the sides are having the same thing. This region is having high pressure, that is why the balloon started moving in the inside direction. Okay, so because of which two balloons will come near to each other. So this is the reason because of which the two balloons are coming closer to each other when you are blowing air. Then what happens, the air molecules which is present in between the air these balloons, they are this is creating low pressure area, and you know that always air moves from the region of high pressure to low pressure. So what happens, the air which is present on the outside is being in the high pressure, and it pushes two balloons towards each other to make them come closer. Okay, so this is the reason because of which these two balloons are coming near to each other. Okay, so this activity has shown you that the fast moving air is always creating a low pressure. Means if you are blowing air in a very soft manner, then it is not going to come closer, and if you are blowing a little bit faster rate, then only this activity could be shown in a proper way. So this reason was there, that high speed winds always accompanied by the low pressure area. High speed winds, it is always accompanied by low pressure. Okay, so next thing is that next activity is also there, which is going to show you the same thing. Take a piece of paper and crumble it to make a small paper ball. Okay, you just make a small paper ball. Okay, you just crumble a paper, crush a paper, and make a small paper ball. Fine. Now hold an empty bottle, glass bottle, on its horizontal side. Okay, place it in the form of in a horizontal way. Now place this small paper ball at the neck of the bottle, just inside the mouth. Okay, this paper has to be put just inside the mouth. It is not going to be inserted properly. Just put it at the side, at the mouth of this glass bottle. Now what you have to do, you have to blow air inside this bottle from your mouth. So you have to blow air inside the bottle, in just at the paper. Now what you will see, what happens to the paper which is kept on the neck of this bottle. So you will see that if the neck of the bottle remains unaffected, the paper ball does not go inside the bottle. This has been explained because when we blow air into the mouth of the bottle, when the air in the bottleneck has high speed, the fast moving air reduces the air pressure in the neck of the bottle. The air pressure inside the bottle being higher constantly pushes the paper out and does not allow this to go inside the bottle. Okay, now what you are going to see, that if if the paper is present just at the neck of the glass, so what will happen? If you are blowing the air, so the pressure which is present in between the paper ball and your mouth, in this space, it becomes lower, so this will have a low pressure area. The pressure is going to be decreased in between this paper ball and your mouth. So what will happen? Instead of this paper should move inside, it is going to come out and it is going to fall down. Now why it is falling down? Because already the air is present inside this bottle. So this air is in a high pressure, which is not allowing the bottle, this paper ball, to come inside. It is always applying a force which is in the opposite direction, because it was in high pressure. So the wind so this air also wants to come out, because it is in high pressure, and it always moves from high pressure to low pressure area, because of which the air which is present inside this bottle is going to push the paper out and the paper will fall down. So this activity also shows that the increased wind speed is always accompanied by the reduced air pressure. So this activity shows that the increased wind speed is always accompanied by a reduced air pressure. Now if you would have blown this air in a very soft manner, then there will be no effect. Now if as soon as you are moving as soon as you are blowing the air in the fast form, means it is in the form of as if the wind is blowing, it is going to decrease the pressure, because air molecules will go out. So what happens? The pressure inside this bottle, because of the air which is present inside this bottle, is going to push this paper out. It is applying more pressure than the pressure outside. As a result, this paper will fall down. Fine. So this is how this activity has completely explained that wind speed is always accompanied by reduced air pressure. Next is that air fast moving or high speed wind which is being blowing over an object, also lifts an object up by producing a region of low pressure. Now the second observation which you will see, that if fast moving air is there, then it is going to lift up the object. Okay, now how is this fact going to be explained? So this fact again is going to be explained in the following activity, that is activity number 3. Now what you are going to do is hold a paper strip just about 20 centimeters long and 3 centimeters wide below your lips. Okay, now blow air above over its surface. Okay, so you'll just see the diagram. What you have to do, you just lift this paper and you just put this paper up in just below the chin. Okay, keep it just below your mouth. Now it is not going to be in a straight form, as it is a very thin paper strip, so it is going to be in the bent form. Now what you are going to see, so you have to blow air from your mouth, so you will blow air just above this paper strip. Okay, now what you will see, we will find that the strip of the paper lifts up. This has been explained as follows. As a result, what will happen, you will see that the paper strip is going upside. As you started blowing air in a very fast manner, this paper strip is going to come up in a straight form. Okay, it tries to come up. Now what is happening, why it is happening, let's find out. When we blow air above the surface of the paper strip, okay, when we blow air at the surface of the paper strip, now what happens, this fast moving air creates a region of low pressure. Okay, why low pressure? Because air has been moved up. This air which was present here above the paper has moved away, and the air which is below the paper, it is going to come and fill the space which is present at the which has been created by the fast moving air at the above surface of the paper. As a result, this paper is going to be pushed up and lift upwards. So this activity shows that fast moving air is also accompanied by a low pressure area, and it also reduces the air pressure. In other words, the increased wind speed also is accompanied by reduced air pressure. So this activity is very simple. You can even try this at your home. So you can take a strip of paper with 20 centimeter wide and 10 centimeters wide and 20 centimeters long, and you will just keep this paper below your chin, and then what you will do, you will blow air as if a fast moving wind is coming. So blow in a high speed. Then what will happen, you will see that as soon as you start blowing the air, this paper strip started moving upwards. Okay, now why it is started moving upwards? Because the pressure you have, after blowing the wind, this air pressure present above the paper strip has decreased, and you know that air always moves from high pressure area to low pressure area. So what happens, the below paper is having a high pressure area winds, so it is going to move upwards. Fine. So this is how you are going to you are going to do this activity, and you can try this so that you could understand the concept very easily, that if you are going to blow the blow the air above the paper strip, it will be lifted upwards. That is why we will see that whenever the wind is blowing, it takes away the shades of the houses, or the small particles, or if the wind is very fast, it could also move the objects with it in a very fast manner, because it is accompanied by a high speed wind is always accompanied by low pressure area. Okay, now we just learned about the air is blown above a paper strip, then the paper strip is lifted upwards. Fine. Because of the fast moving air reduces the air pressure of the paper strip, and the high pressure is acting below the paper lifts it up. Okay, the if a high speed wind always blown at the roof, over the roof of your house, it is all they will reduce the air pressure above the roof, and the roof of the house is weak. If the roof of the house is weak, then the high pressure from below will lift the roof up, and it could be blown away with the fast moving air. So what happens, if the house is there and the shed which is present here, or the tin or the roof which is in lighter state, what will happen, the fast moving air is coming. So if the fast moving air is coming, it is going to reduce the air pressure just above the surface of your roof. Okay, and inside the house, the pressure is high. What will happen as a result, the air will start moving from inside to outside, which is, if the roof is in very weak form, then this roof will be blown away because of the low pressure which is being created by the fast moving air. It is going to be blown away with the fast moving winds. Okay, so that is the reason because of which we see that the thing started flying in the air, with the air, when the wind is blowing. Okay, so this is the reason because of which the thing starts flying in the wind. It moves upwards, it is always lifted upwards. Now wind speed and wind direction, we'll see that how is this wind speed and wind direction being calculated, or how it is being measured. So wind speed and wind direction plays an important role in the formation of storms. Okay, so wind speed, because moving air is called breeze, small very fast moving air is called wind, and very very fast moving wind is known as cyclones. Now if wind is moving very fast, it brings storms, and if storms are going to be more in nature, it is going to be of different types, that is thunderstorms, cyclones and tornadoes. So these storms are very much related with the wind speed and wind direction. So if you know what is about the wind speed and wind direction, you will be knowing what kind of calamity or what kind of destructive phenomena is going to be happened. Now such winds which is in high speed, that is thunderstorm, tornadoes and the cyclones, they are very necessary. It is very necessary for a person to know that what kind of disaster is approaching, so that the person could remain in a the person could take some precautions, and it could be really very safe in during those kinds of phenomena. Okay, so what happens, if it is therefore necessary to measure the wind speed and wind direction at a place. The wind speed is always measured by an instrument called anemometer. So this is known as anemometer. The most common type of anemometer is consisting of 3 or 4 cups mounted on a rod which rotates freely. Okay, so just I'll show you the picture of the anemometer. It's like this. It is a rod which can rotate freely, and these are the small rods, and it contains 3 cups. Because of these cups, when the air is blown inside this, it is going to move in the direction opposite to the wind which is blowing. Okay, so what happens here? The wind is measured by this instrument called anemometer. The most common type of anemometer, I told you that it contains 3 or 4 cups mounted on a rod which can rotate freely. The cup catches the wind and rotates. Okay, greater the speed of the wind, faster the cup rotates. At the base of the anemometer, the scale is there, which this scale is going to measure the wind speed in kilometer per hour, because it is very high speed wind, so we cannot measure it in meter per seconds. So it is always measured in kilometer per hour, and it has been we can read it from the scale. So the anemometer is installed on a tall buildings, or where the air could blow around it freely. Okay, so it is always installed at a very tall place. See, it's installed at the house or the place where it is being shown with the help of the arrow. Also, this is another instrument called wind vane, so it tells the direction. So we can measure the speed of the wind using this anemometer, which has a scale at the bottom, which is going to measure the wind speed in kilometer per hour. Okay, so the direction of the wind is always measured. Now this instrument anemometer is always measuring. It helps in measuring the speed of wind. Okay, but in which direction is the speed coming, or in which direction the wind is blowing, this will be measured by another instrument called wind vane. Okay, so the direction of the wind of a place is always found by using the instrument called wind vane. We can find the direction from which the wind is blowing by looking at the wind vane. See, it is having an arrow just above it which rotates freely. This arrow of the wind vane moves until it points in the direction from which the wind is blowing. If the arrow points south direction, it means wind is blowing in from the south direction. If it points in east direction, the wind is blowing from the east direction. Okay, so it keeps on moving till the time it comes to know that from which direction the wind is coming, it is going to rest in the same direction. Fine. So two instruments you have read, you have understood that anemometer, it's going to tell you the speed of wind, and this wind vane is going to tell you the direction from which it is coming. So these are the two instruments, anemometer and wind vane. Next is that high speed wind can be destructive. Do you understand this, or is it really true that high speed winds are going to be really very destructive? And yes, I think yes, it is very destructive. I think you also will be thinking the same thing, that high speed winds can cause destructions. Yes, of course, because these high speed winds, they bring storms, and storms may sometimes is accompanied like it could be of different types. It could be thunderstorm, it could be cyclones, it could be the hurricanes, it could be tornadoes. Okay, so these are the different names from which we come to know which type of storm is coming and what kind of destruction it may cause. So if we have just studied about the winds which brings us rain. Okay, we next is that this is very helpful part played by the winds. But high speed winds is also called strong winds. They also are sometimes destructive. High speed winds create certain situation in the nature which create a disaster and pose a threat of life to human beings and other animals. Okay, why it is threatening us? Because the things which are flying, it could take the things away with it, and it could destruct the places, it could destruct the people, it could destruct the animals. Houses, other buildings and standing crops are also destroyed with these disasters. So it is a very disaster means it is a very destructive phenomenon which is going to create a heavy loss to the life and the property. Wind plays a very important role in the formation of thunderstorms, cyclones and tornadoes, which are really very disastrous. Now we have to discuss about the formation of these thunderstorms, cyclones and tornadoes and their effects. So before doing that, we should understand the meaning of the following terms, that is storms, lightning, thunder. All these should be very clear in your mind. So we have understood, till now we have understood that air is having pressure, and fast moving air is known as wind. This wind creates high speed if it is created in the high speed, and this high speed creates always creates a low pressure, and this low pressure also has a direction, and it also is it could also be calculated. Now if high speed is there, it could be of three types. It could be storm, it could bring storm with accompanied with lightning and thunder, and also it could bring the cyclones and the tornadoes. So we are going to study about these thunderstorm cyclones in the next half of the chapter. Before that, we should understand the simple terms of which is known as storms and the lightning and the thunder. So first one is the storm, a period of violent weather with strong winds, usually rain or snow, is known as storm. Okay, so storm is a it is also known as tufan in Hindi. So whenever a storm comes, it is for a certain period of time, and at that certain period of time, the fast moving wind is there. So a period of violent weather with the strong winds. Okay, so strong winds are there. It also usually brings rainfall, and sometimes during winters, if storm comes, it is going to be snow. It could also bring rain or snow. So it is known as a storm. So this storm is disturbed. It is a disturbed state of Earth's atmosphere, which affects the surface of the Earth and all the objects on it. Fine. So why it is being developed? It is developed because of low pressure. So all these destructive phenomena, which I the names which I took just now, that thunderstorms, cyclones, tornadoes, all these are going to come because of the region of low pressure area which is being created on the Earth's surface, or sometimes it is being created inside the sea. So the storms are always affecting the life of the people which are living on the Earth's surface. Fine. So it is always accompanied. How are you going to tell that a storm is coming? You will see that strong winds are blowing. You will see that it is also bringing rainfall. Then it is termed as tufan. Okay, so it is termed as storm. Next is the lightning. What is a lightning? Lightning is a natural flow of high voltage electricity within a cloud or between the cloud and the earth. It is also seen as a bright flash of light in the sky. This is known as lightning. So as you could see here, you could see lightning. That see, I'll show you the picture of this lightning here. See, it is a lightning in a natural view. Fine. So this is how the lightning happens, and what is the reason for this lightning? I'll just tell you that lightning happens because of the flow of high voltage electricity. Now where is this electricity coming? Electricity is present within the clouds. So clouds are also electrically charged. Now how is this high voltage created, or it is being generated? I'll tell you when I'll discuss about the thunderstorms. Okay, so the clouds have high voltage in it, and it appears like a bright flash because two clouds which are having the electricity, which are in a voltage in our opposite charges. So what will happen when these two collide with each other? It is going to create a big spark, as it happens in your home sometimes. Okay, so this spark is being created just because of the attachment of these two opposite charges, or the collision of these two charges, and it appears like lightning. So please note that clouds becomes electrically charged and produce lightning. Its temperature must be close to freezing point of water, means it should be 0 degree. That is why the lightning is caused. We will explain it further when we discuss about the formation of thunderstorm after a while. Okay, so I told you that when I'll discuss about the thunderstorms, I'm going to tell you about the lightning also, how it is being caused. So just now you just you know the definition of lightning, that lightning is a bright flash of charge, electric voltage, in which is present in the clouds or in between the clouds. Okay, it is present between the clouds, and it always appears when the collision takes place. And why it happens in the wind season? Because when this wind is blowing, when this storm is coming, then it is going to move these clouds in a very faster rate. So because of the clouds which is moving in all the direction, they come very close to each other and they start sparking, and these sparks are going to reach us in the form of a light flash and a bright flash of light, and this is known as lightning. Fine. So this is very natural phenomenon where you could see the flash coming from the sky during storms. Now next, you know that after lightning what happens? A big sound is coming. So that sound is known as, which is coming after the lightning, is known as thunder. So what is a thunder? Thunder is a loud sound which is heard little after a lightning flashes seen in the sky is known as thunder. So this is the definition of thunder, that the loud sound which is being heard just a while after a lightning flash is seen in the sky. This is known as thunder. So thunder is produced by the lightning as follows. Now how is always lightning is accompanied with the thunder? Because high speed voltage sparks of the lightning heats the air in the atmosphere. Okay, it is going to heat up because it is having electric charge in it, and if fire is coming, it means the charges are coming, high voltage is coming, it is going to heat up the temperature of the air which is present in the sky. So this extreme heat causes the air to expand at a very explosive rate. Means because of the overheating of the atmosphere, the air starts expanding in a very extreme manner. Means it is expanding in a very high speed, at a very high speed, and this expansion is acting as it is happening at explosive rate. Okay, and this produces a loud sound which is called thunder. Okay, so thus the lightning which causes thunder, lightning always causes thunder. So thunder is always accompanied by lightning because the electric charges which are present in the form of high voltage, it is going to expand the air, and you know that air always expands on heating. So here also heating is taking place. So because of this heat, air expands, and this expansion of the air causes the explosive rate. This expansion happens at explosive rate. Okay, so when explosion happens, it causes sound. So this explosive sound is caused because of the air expansion, and this lightning and thunder are the two characteristics of the thunderstorm. So next we will discuss about the thunderstorm, but till now I have discussed about how this wind speed is being generated, and this wind speed is going to cause the storms, and these storms may be having three characteristics, that is thunder, lightning, and the storms. So these high speed could be in the three forms, so it could be very much destructive because of these phenomenons. So we have discussed much about these storms. We'll discuss about the thunderstorm in the next video. So till now this much is being discussed in the today's video, that how is being thunder created, how is being lightning created, and how is the storm being created. So that's all for today's video. I will meet you all in the next video with the next topic to be discussed.